The ring general just made the biggest mistake of his career, and he doesn't even know it yet. What happens when you disrespect the greatest of all time? What happens when you push a 16-time world champion past his breaking point? Tonight, backstage at Monday Night Raw, Triple H delivered a warning that sent shockwaves through the entire WWE universe, and I'm telling you right now, Gunther's reign of dominance might be coming to a violent, unforgettable end. This is the beginning of something massive, something brutal, something that will define the legacy of two of the most dangerous men in professional wrestling history. What's up, SLAMZONE family? If this is your first time here, you just walked into the most electrifying wrestling commentary channel on YouTube, and trust me, you picked the perfect time to join us. Before we dive into this absolute powder keg of a situation, I need you to do something for me, and I promise this matters. If you love professional wrestling, if you live for those moments that make your heart race and your hands shake, hit that subscribe button right now. Because we're building something special here, a community of fans who don't just watch wrestling, they feel it in their bones. Smash that like button, ring the notification bell, and become part of the SLAMZONE family. We break down every jaw-dropping moment, every backstage confrontation, every championship dream that gets born or dies in that squared circle. Now let's talk about why Gunther should be absolutely terrified right now. Monday Night Raw. The arena is still buzzing from the matches we just witnessed. Backstage, in the corridor where careers are made and broken with a single conversation, Triple H, the Game, the chief content officer of WWE, is standing face to face with the Imperium General himself, Gunther. And you can feel it, that tension hanging in the air like a storm about to break. The camera catches them mid-conversation, and immediately, you know something heavy is about to drop. Gunther stands there with that trademark arrogance, that superiority complex that's carried him through the longest Intercontinental Championship reign in modern history. 666 days of absolute dominance. 666 days of chopping men's chests until they're purple and bleeding. 666 days of telling the world that he is the measuring stick, that he is the standard bearer, that he is better than every legend that came before him. And that's exactly where this story turns dangerous. Triple H looks at Gunther with the eyes of a man who's been in this business for 3 decades, who stood across the ring from Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker. He's not intimidated. He's concerned. And when the game is concerned, you better pay attention. He leans in closer to Gunther, and his voice carries that weight of experience, that gravitas of someone who knows what it takes to survive at the absolute peak of this industry. You need to be careful with your words about John Cena. Those 9 words. That's all it takes. That's the spark that lights the fuse. Gunther's expression doesn't change immediately. He's still wearing that smug confidence, that belief that he's untouchable. But Triple H isn't finished. He continues, and this is where it gets real. He reminds Gunther that John Cena isn't just another opponent. This isn't just another wrestler coming back for a nostalgia pop and a quick paycheck. This is a man on a mission, a man chasing history, a man who needs one more world championship to break the tie with Ric Flair and stand alone as the greatest champion in WWE history. You can see the wheels turning in Gunther's head now. The ring general, who has systematically dismantled every challenger that stepped up to him, who has broken the spirits of wrestlers half his age and twice as hungry, is starting to understand the magnitude of what's coming. Triple H isn't giving advice from the corporate office. This is warrior to warrior, legend to future legend communication. This is one killer recognizing the scent of another killer in the water. Triple H tells Gunther that John Cena has already announced his retirement tour for 2025, his final year in WWE. His last chance to capture that elusive 17th World Championship. And when a man like John Cena knows his time is running out, when he knows this is his final opportunity to cement his legacy as the undisputed greatest of all time, he becomes the most dangerous version of himself. He doesn't care about his body anymore. He doesn't care about the pain. He doesn't care about playing it safe. He will sacrifice everything, break every bone in his body, tear every muscle, if it means standing in the center of that ring one more time with championship gold around his waist. Gunther finally speaks, and his voice has that Austrian accent dripping with disdain. He tells Triple H that he's not intimidated by John Cena's legacy. He says that Cena represents everything wrong with WWE's past, the bright colors, the pandering to children, the predictable comebacks. He says that when he faces Cena, if he faces Cena, it will be a mercy killing, putting down an old dog who doesn't know when to quit. The arrogance is still there, but you can detect something else now. A flicker of recognition. A tiny acknowledgement that maybe, just maybe, he's underestimating what's coming for him. Triple H's expression hardens. You can see the respect he has for Gunther as a competitor, but you can also see the frustration. He's trying to prepare this young champion for the reality that's about to hit him like a freight train. He mentions how many legends have made the mistake of dismissing John Cena. The Miz thought he was better. He was wrong. Randy Orton thought he had Cena's number. He learned otherwise. Edge, one of the greatest of all time, threw everything at Cena and still couldn't put him down permanently. AJ Styles came into WWE as the best wrestler in the world and learned that John Cena operates on a different level when championships are on the line. The conversation gets more intense. Triple H reminds Gunther about Royal Rumble, about how Cena will be entering that match with one goal: win it in main event WrestleMania for a 17th World Championship. And if Gunther is still holding the World Heavyweight Championship by then, if he survives the gauntlet of killers coming for his title between now and April, he will be standing in that WrestleMania main event staring across the ring at the most clutch performer in WWE history. But here's where this story transcends a simple backstage warning. Here's where it becomes something deeper, something that speaks to the soul of professional wrestling. Triple H looks Gunther dead in the eyes and says something that makes the ring general actually pause. He tells him that John Cena doesn't need to prove anything to anyone except himself. That 17th championship isn't about the record books. It's not about the fans. It's not even about beating Ric Flair's legacy. It's about a man who has given every single ounce of his body, mind, and spirit to this business for 20 years, proving to himself one final time that he can reach the absolute pinnacle. Think about what that means. Think about the psychology of facing someone who isn't wrestling for glory or money or fame. John Cena already has all of that. He's already transcended wrestling. He's a Hollywood superstar, a businessman, a global icon. But there's something primal, something ancient in the heart of a warrior that demands completion. That 17th championship represents closure. It represents the final chapter of the greatest story ever told in sports entertainment. And men who are writing their final chapter are the most dangerous men alive. Gunther's face shows the first real crack in his armor. For just a moment, the arrogance fades and you see something else. Respect. Maybe even a hint of fear. Not fear of losing, because champions don't think about losing, but fear of what he'll have to become to survive what's coming. Fear of how much of himself he'll have to sacrifice. Fear of whether he's truly ready for the war that John Cena will bring. Triple H steps back, and his final words hang in the air like a prophecy. You've been dominant, Gunther. You've been incredible. But John Cena on a retirement tour chasing history? That's a different animal. That's a force of nature. And forces of nature don't get warned. They just destroy everything in their path until they get what they came for. The camera lingers on Gunther's face as Triple H walks away. The ring general stands there alone in that corridor, and for the first time in 666 days, he looks mortal. He looks vulnerable. He looks like a man who just realized that his greatest test isn't coming someday in the future. It's already here. It's already locked onto him like a heat-seeking missile, and there's nowhere to run. SLAMZONE family, if this story gave you chills, if you're already imagining Gunther versus John Cena on the grandest stage of them all, I need you to show some love right now. Hit that like button, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and drop a comment telling me who you think wins when these two titans finally collide. Are you Team Cena, believing in the power of hustle, loyalty, and respect one more time? Or are you Team Gunther, convinced that the ring general will chop down even the greatest of all time? Share this video with every wrestling fan you know, because this story is just beginning, and trust me, it's going to get even more intense. The warning has been delivered. The challenge has been acknowledged. The pieces are moving into position for what could be the most emotionally charged, historically significant match in WWE history. Gunther can prepare all he wants. He can study tape. He can train harder. He can chop wooden posts until his hands are numb. But nothing, and I mean nothing, can truly prepare you for John Cena when he smells championship gold and knows it's his last chance to capture it. This is where legacies collide. This is where the unstoppable force meets the immovable object. This is where the new era's measuring stick finds out if he can measure up to the greatest measuring stick in WWE history. Gunther wanted to prove he belongs in the conversation with the all-time greats. Well, congratulations, Ring General, you're about to get your wish. And it might be the worst thing that ever happened to you. Royal Rumble is coming. WrestleMania is coming. And John Cena, with one final mission burning in his heart, is coming for everything Gunther has built. The question isn't whether this match will happen. The question is whether Gunther will still be champion when it does, and whether he'll be ready for the fight of his life when the man who never gives up comes looking for number 17. This is SLAMZONE, and we'll be here breaking down every single moment of this incredible journey. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and join us as we witness history being written in real time. Because when it's all said and done, when the smoke clears and the final bell rings, we're going to look back at this moment, at this warning from Triple H, and realize this was the moment everything changed. This was the moment Gunther learned that being great isn't enough when you're standing across the ring from greatness itself. Thanks for watching, SLAMZONE family. Now let's see who's ready for the war that's coming.